Today is day 240 of the year of streaming and learning to code. We are continuing on here at Code Wars yet again. We are working our way up through the lower part of the CADA list for the ones that we had skipped on our journey through level 6. So we are looking for most completed. And what else? Level 6. Hey there, little cat. How are you doing? Level 6. And cat, it's hard to see past you when you're standing directly in front of the monitor. Aha, thank you. And fundamentals. Good, good. Alright, and fundamentals. Tiny cat, if you could move. Tiny cat. I love you. Wow, it always seems like their site takes forever to load. I don't know if that's just me or if it's just their servers. Cat, you are literally in front of the mouse / trackpad, and it's no. You're a demon. Destroyer of worlds. We're not gonna have you lay there. Nope. Oh god. Princess, I love you. Watch your face. Yeah, there we go. That's awful. Let's make sure everything's mostly okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Continuing on. We are making our way through the list. We had skipped some, like take a 10-minute walk, and Fibonacci sequence, duplicate encoder. We had made it 50% of the way through, so we wanted to tackle some of the ones we skipped. Because we skipped about half of them, and we made it about 50% of the way through, so I figured we should head back up to cover our trail. And right now you're left with order please, format a string of names like Bart, Lisa, and Maggie, playing with digits, create a phone number. So persistent bugger is what we're left with next. And we're just going to dive into it. Go time. Alright, so what exactly is our goal here? Write a function, persistence, that takes in a positive parameter, num, and returns its multiplicative persistence, multiplicative, there we go, multiplicative persistence. We got it. Which is the number of times you must multiply the digits in the number until you reach a single digit. So 39 is 3 times 9, which equals 27. Then you get 27, 2 times 7, which is 14, and then you've got 1 times 4, which equals 4. When we end up with one digit, party's over. So on and so forth. 9 times 9, 9 times 9 times 9, 729, 7 times 2, 9, 126, so forth and so forth, 1, 2, 6, 12, finally, 1, 2, 2. Ta-da! And 4 is simply, and you count the number of times you have to do that, so 4 is simply 0 because 4 is already a one-digit number. Let's give that a shot. Here are our tests: 39, 4, 25, and 2, and 999. Code me. Ask and you shall hopefully receive. We're still working on our effectiveness at being able to deliver. So, fairly straightforward. What do we want to do? We want to take a number. Do we want to split it? I kind of feel like we want to take the number. What do I want to do with that? Can we multiply with a for loop? I'm trying to run through the numbers in my head. And I feel like if we set up a for loop, instead of iterating I plus, oh no, that's counting one by one. In my mind, I wanted to do I multiply, or asterisk, but that's not going to do anything. In my mind, it was functioning the same way, but multiplying each one. We still could go through with a for loop, and I guess it would be multiply or times equals. I guess it's just a for loop and it stops when the length is 1. Let's see what happens. Taking 4, maybe we should have a variable to return. Answer, total. Persistence, 1 times? Maybe we don't need anything. It's the number of times. Knots? NOTs? We could do that. Variable. Although that's kind of weird. Is there a thing that tells us how many times? You know what? We'll do a for loop, and we'll push the total answers, products. Yeah, products. Watch this. And we'll return the length of products as our answer. So we'll push 27 and 14 and 3. And when the for loop stops, will the for loop stop after 1 digit? Or when the length is down to 1 digit. Yeah. We'll get there. I can kind of see it. Alright, I'm just trying not to fixate too much on any one specific thing and then just have it all fall apart. So, happy thoughts. Keep it fun. This is good. So, we'll be dumping stuff into products, and then we'll return the length. Return products dot length so should be equal to 3 4 0 3 0 2 4. So to get there, let's try setting up a for loop in the meantime. Variable I equals frac. Yeah, 0. We'll start at 0. I. Now this is where it's different. I will be something. For I, we're going to need a couple things. Number, variable, number array equals num dot split okay, so there's that. We'll also have products, but I think we're also going to have products array? What are we going to do? There's a couple of these. Because we want to... No, Tiny Cat, I love you, but... Let's set you on the bed. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Yeah, that was awful. We're still good? Yeah, we're still good. Okay. I just don't want her destroying our code since we're trying to power through this. Somewhat. So, number array, I feel like we're going to have another variable, but I don't know what. Number dot split turns everything into an array. It turns the first one into an array. Then we want to loop through I is less than number array dot length for blankety blankety blank You know what it is? I figured it out. The for loop goes inside an if statement. And then inside the for loop, yeah, I think it also has another if statement. But there's first for loop. I think, at least in my mind, as I slowly step through this, it kind of feels somewhat crazy. But if num length num dot length equals yeah, I think we'll be fine. If num dot length equals 0, then do the following. So there's this, else blah. So if num length equals 0, we want it to simply return 0. Else split num array, or split number into an array, and then go through that. So we're going to go through, this is 3 times 9, which is 27. 3 times 9, which is 27. We will need, I think, another variable. See, I think this is where I was getting confused with wanting to put the third variable up here. Because I wanted to have like a product array or something like that. Just a place to store the values. But I don't think that's necessary to do outside of the scope. I think that can be done in here. So this will be, what is it going to be? Oh god. Shots fired. Save yourself, children. Ugh, our face holes. Dear God. Confused and sneezy. There aren't many worse combinations than that. What are we looking at? Variable something. Num array. Product array? I want to call it product array, but I don't know how to abbreviate that. We'll do pro array. Pro array equals something. For each variable, blankety blankety blank, I plus plus, so we're going to end up with 3 times something. I plus it's multiplying on itself. So product. Maybe this can just be product instead. Product. And this can be plural. Product length. It doesn't feel fun. Well, versus product array. Copy. You're terrible at variable names. Number dot length equals 1, not 0. If it equals 1, return a 0, because it's already a 1-digit number. Else, for variable I less than num array length, the number split, it will go through each one of those. So we take 39, we're splitting it into 3 and 9. Now we're going to multiply those, which will be not plus equals, but times equals. That doesn't feel right either. I times something. Number times I. I guess. Number array I. Num array I. Times something. Maybe it's just that. I do not remember what to do. Kada. I'm just trying to figure out where to put all this. Right. Let's left. See, we remembered barely. Let's look at what we did for yesterday's, because I think some of yesterday's solution for looping through stuff might be somewhat useful. View profile. followed by solutions. Hopefully. She's loading. Come on. Come on. Ba-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-dee. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-dee. Here. So, playing with digits. We had our number, which was turned into a string, and then it was split. Interesting. I should probably do the same thing for ours yet again. Glad we checked. Two-string split, and from there, if it equals 0, do that, else multiply the stuff. The plus equals nonsense. Yeah, plus equals just that. Now that was happening inside, but dig sum already equaled 0. So maybe that's our issue. Maybe we should have product array, copy, variable product array, 0, maybe, fingers crossed. So product array would be, ooh, is that okay? Times equals blankety blank. That seems tragic. Maybe this should be a 1. 1 times the number, that becomes the number. It loops through again, and then that becomes a number. That might be slightly better. Copy. Copy this. Return that. Comment you out. Copy you. Testing things, and run it. So, 27. That's cool, because 3 times 9 is in fact 27. 4 works. We end up with a 10. We end up with 729. Not gonna lie, kinda shocked that so far we haven't burned down the entire house. Pretty cool by my standards. So run this with a 0. Aha! Always 0. Math still works the same, even at 12:23 a.m., 0:23 a.m., whatever time scale you're on. So back to 1. Our spidey senses were right. So from here, we need to do something with that. It equals this. Now that we have that, we need to do like another for loop. Do we push it to the product length array and then start a new for loop? I'm just not sure what to do at this particular step. We need to take this. We basically need to rinse and repeat and keep repeating. So that would be a for loop. But to what end? If, you know what it should be? Maybe we can turn it. Instead of if number length equals 1, return 0, else do this. What if we were to change it? If number length does not equal 1, run this. Otherwise, return 0. But I'm concerned if it loops through all the times. The point is to get it down to a single digit. And I feel like it's going to just sort of override and cancel everything out. Everything's going to return 0. You know what I mean? Don't stress. Just forge ahead. Forge ahead. What do our spidey senses tell us to do? 27. Now that we have this, we want to push it to something. Product length. Product copy. Product length dot push. And run. That's still fine. And instead we'll do product length. Run that. And nice. Or a 2-digit number, 1-digit, 2-digit, and a 3-digit number. Okay, so it got that. Kinda cool. The next thing to do, once we have that number in product length, we wanna take that for, maybe that's just what we do. I just don't know if we keep it inside this for loop and begin another, or if we do a new for loop down here, maybe even a second if statement. If product length I plus plus, maybe that's what it is. Because if it's ever just a single number, it dies here. If it's ever more than a single number, it will go through this. And that means it will push a number to product length. If there's something in product length, if product length copy if product length does not equal 0, then run I don't even think we need an else statement for it. then for variable j equals 0? Yeah, it'd be the same song and dance over again. J less than product length j. Yeah. I don't know if this loop is happening inside of here. Because technically I feel like this for loop, the variable j for loop, could happen inside of our primary if-else statement. I just don't know if it needs to happen externally as a separate beast after we've pushed this over. We'll keep filling it out. I'm sure at some point it will either feel right or it will feel wrong. Hopefully instinctively we'll be able to piece this nightmare together. So for something. So product array. Oh my god, do we loop back to product array? Does that somehow create a never-ending loop? Wait a second. Wait a second. If product array equals 1, maybe we don't need that. Maybe we need product array. Fuck. I'm trying to wrap my mind around this. I don't know if I want it. I'm trying to create a loop of... What's the word I'm looking for? Entropy? Never-ending shit? But in a controlled... This is like creating a controlled blast. You want the explosion or a controlled fire, but... Not all the chaos that comes with it. It needs to be contained. It's like we want an infinite loop, but not an untamed one. Let's keep going. So product array times num array. Oh god, this is awful. Product length JJ and do what though? Product length J something or other. I think it would be this for starters, but with product length. Product array. This is awful. So first, what would happen, because I feel like this thing's going to detonate if I run this. We have our number that they're giving us, you know, 39.99, or technically down here, 39, 4, 25, 999. We're given a number. We'll call it 39. we're turning that into a string instead of just a digit. So now it's all stringy. Now that it's a string, we're splitting that. So we've got a 3 and a 9. That will be our number array. And if num, our parameter, if its length is equal to 1, like if it were a 4, it would be dead on arrival, and it would just return a 0. Else, so if it doesn't just have a single digit, it will then go through the for loop. So we're back to our 3 and our 9. Variable I starting at 0, so it would be the first element 3, looping through till it reaches the end, 9, or however long it goes. And it's going to push. We've got product array, which is set to 1. Multiply equals number array I. So the first number that's going to go through this loop will be the 3. So we're going to loop through with the 3, but that's 1 times 3 equals that. So that's 3. And then it loops through to the next number, 9. Then you've got 3 times 9, 27. Watch your claws, princess. Watch your face. So that's product array is a 1. Number array I starts off with a 3. 1 times 3, 3. Loops through again. We end up with a 9. 3 times 9, 27. So we've got our 27, and we're pushing that to product length, which is an empty array waiting to party. We've got our stray 4 down here. We'll comment that out for now, because we're trying to figure out if this for loop should be happening in its own if statement down below, separately from this nightmare, or if we should also include the for loop back in with all of this noise. Anyways, so we've got our 27 now from here. The 3 and the 9 with the 1. 27, that's been pushed to product length. Now, that same song and dance continues on just one square over, basically. Slightly different perspective. If product length, the length of that array, does not equal 0, which now it doesn't equal 0 anymore, it's no longer empty, we will have our for loop with the variable j, same song and dance, looping through, so that would be the 27 that we will be looping through. Oh, and it's just a 27. We need to split that. I knew we needed to have another set. So that would be pro array. We should have pro value and pro array. Death. Sack of death. Don't mind me. Pro value. Pro val. Copy. 1, 2. Pro value. Nice. We will have pro variable pro array equals something. What would that be? Pro array will be what will pro array be? Maybe it'll be value array. Maybe we'll do that. Value array will equal something. Maybe that's what this should be. Hold on. Let's get rid of that. Let's do product length. Let's make this value array. Copy. Value array. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, value array. And this can now be something. Product array beneath it. Product array equals split value array dot split. Yeah. Okay. Whew. Value array dot split. Holy. Is that right? Is that what I want? Oh, this is a fucking nightmare. Is that what we want? We don't need to worry about turning it into a string. I don't even know if we need to worry about turning it into a string in the first place. I think I need to because it's just a straight digit. But... and at this point, it should already be a string when we're splitting it. So I think that makes sense of not needing the toString. It wouldn't hurt to put toString again, but I think that would just be doubling up. Kind of unnecessary at that point. At least with my current understanding. So why did we need all that? We did value array.length. So that would be the 27. We had our blankety blank, our 1 times the 3, and then the 3 times the 9. We ended up with 27. It ended up pushing that into here. Value array length, if it doesn't equal 0, which it doesn't now because it equals 27, or it has a 27 in there, so it's at least 1. 4j, value array j. Is that what we wanted? Value array j? No, see, that's like the number thing. So we want product array. So we want product array, copy, pro array, I, value array j. Why am I focused on these two? Pro array is split. It goes through the j in each one of those. Pro value will equal that, and we're returning. Is that right? Oh, this is a fucking nightmare. Pro array, put the R back. I just removed the R to highlight things. Okay, and then I think this gets pushed back to Is it value array? Yeah, and I think we're pushing this back to value array. Copy value array dot push. This seems so wrong and confusing. Okay. Hold on. Before we pull the fire button, or hit the fire button, let me see if I can wrap my fucking mind around this. We're starting with 39. I know we could just hit run test, but let me come to terms with what the hell just happened. We started with 39 right here. We're taking 39, the digit, turning it into a string. Boop, stringy. Then we're splitting it, and it goes from 39 to a 3 and a 9. From there, we are double checking the original number length, 39, which is a length of 2. If it equals 1, like a 4, dead on arrival, returns a 0. Otherwise, since 39 is a length of 2, it continues on parting down here. Looping through from the beginning, 3 to the end of it. For the length, we have our our product value, which equals 1. It starts off as 1, times equals our current value. So we're first starting off with 3, so 1 times 3 equals 3. It continues. 3 times 9 goes to 27. The cycle finishes, and it pushes that onwards to something. Value array. So this becomes a 27. Little cat, we are so close to figuring this out. So now we have a 27. From there, if value array dot length does not equal 0, which it no longer is empty, so it's no longer 0, then the party continues. So 27 shows up to the club with its fake ID of J, and J continues like so. So J, wait, hold on, pro value and number array get multiplied together, and it gets pushed to value array. For if the length of value array is not 0, which it currently has one thing in there, so that's good, it's no longer 0, it will go through the for loop. Aha! So we're looping through, and we set up pro array, which splits it, because this is a whole 27 that got pushed to value array. There's a whole 27 sitting in here, but what we need to do is take 27 and rip it to shreds. 2 pieces, 27 and 2 and a 7. So with that said, oh, this is a fucking nightmare. So with that said, we've got here pro array J, so we've got our 2 and our 7. We're using pro value again to do 1, because we can use that tool over again, and pro array J will be 2 times 1, so that's 2, and then 2 times 7, which is 14, and that will get pushed to value array. So now we end up with a 14 in there. My concern is I don't know if the cycle will stop at that point, or if it will then continue attacking value array if it is 14. Like when it 27 comes into the club and 14 walks out, but I don't know if he left it on fire and in smithereens and there's nothing left, or if 14 walks out and then the cycle continues again. I feel like there's a break, or this for loop should be in here. Super death. Let's go ahead. What am I returning in the end? I am returning the length of value array. That's what I want to return. Copy is the length of value array. Also, I am interested in returning just value array in general. Let's close, let's try that. Let's run that. Let's see if we can at least update value array. They're super pissed. We broke it. We broke the internet. Ugh. Super death. Value array dot split is not a function. I bet it's the string issue. Copy. Let's try that once more. Run it. Oh, double periods. The worst. No one likes a double period. Ah, holy shit, it's working. Kind of minus the 3 fiasco, but you know what? I can live with that. Worse things have happened. Worse things have happened. Let's get rid of this. Run that. Okay. 2 and a 1. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's a thing. Let's try putting all of this noise right inside here. Yeah. 2 space 1 2 space. Yeah, good. So give that a shot. Run test. 2 and a 3 and a 1, and things are loading and frustrated. Versus three and a 27. That seems off. Why does that seem off? Hold the phone. Why, theoretically, is that mostly okay? Hold on. Something's happening. It's something to do with something. Everything is fine. The issue is The issue is that it's factoring in death. We're missing a step. What is it? What could we be missing? Hold on. Maybe it's because I left all of this noise. There's that. Here's this. And run it. Okay. Death. 2, 1, 2, and 3. 2, 1, 2, and 3. So wait, 2, 1, 2, 3. This it's an if-else statement from another one of our solutions. If it's this, it simply returns 0. You see, right now we're returning the length. So even if it's one number, it's theoretically not returning the length. Do you understand? No, it's me. I don't understand, but I mean, I can kind of see it. And we need to add the +1 to these nightmares somehow. It has to do with how sucky my code is. Bear with me. It's just sort of a nature of the beast. Now, where did we have that? Was it the map stuff? If index length -1 string and name, else index names -2, else string name. Maybe it was that one. Thought it was something else. Aha! It was this. If even's length is less than odd's length, return number array index of evens 0 +1. Otherwise, return number of index odds 0 +1. So length times something. Length to string +1. Length to something +1. Length. Damn. If length of something. Because what was this? This was, we had a set of numbers. We split the numbers. We had evens, odds, and answers. we looped through the number array. If that number was even, it got pushed to evens. If not, it got pushed to odds. If the length of evens was less than the length of odds, then return the number array of evens plus 1 of even 0. That was that first number that they were bringing in. I just... Oh, it's the index of whatever the number is at 0. So it doesn't necessarily matter. So really it could be the index of evens dot length. Evens dot evens last index. This is just awful. I'm trying to wrap my mind around this. Return something. Return value array index of length minus 1 plus 1. Index of length minus 1 plus 1. Index of return value array dot index of, I think, value array index of, I can almost see it, index of death number array. So that was the full thing. Evens. Death. I'm not even sure what to look for at this point. We're so, it's, you know what? It's this bit that I'm not. Oh no, it's okay. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. Value array index of. Watch this. Value array dot length minus 1 in parentheses. God, this is awful. Plus 1. Watch this. I so hope that works out. Okay. That's in its own thing. Oh, and plus 1 comes after? Is that what's happening? Plus 1 comes after. So really, it's just its own set of parentheses there. Oh, and it is. And it is. Give that a shot. Death. minus 1. Value array dot length? Damn. Oh, hey, I just noticed the chat, my bad. Totally crazy persons here. At BDX Inc. Hiya. Having a bit of trouble there. Yes, most certainly. What do you not understand? I'm extremely close. I feel like I'm extremely close to cracking this. Need to write a function that takes in a positive number and returns its multiplicative persistence, which is the number of times you multiply the digits in num until you reach a single digit. So let's zoom in on that. So if you're given 39, it'd be 3 times 9 equals 27, and then that would be 2 times 7 equals 14, and then 1 times 4 equals 4. And now that it's a single number, 4 is only 1 digit, but that took 3 loops to get there. So plus 3 plus 4. And right now, I feel like I'm pretty close to it. I can put in a number, 39. I got some stuff set up, so if the length of 1 is just that, it'll return a 0. If it's just a 4 or a 9 or a 1, it'll just return 0 out of the gates. Otherwise, something like 39, I'm splitting it into an array so I can loop through the values. And it goes, I've got pro value equals 1. So when I loop through my 39, which is a 3 and a 9, 1 times 3, 3 times 9, and then that gets pushed to value array. So that would be 27. So now that I've got 27 sitting there, I end up splitting that into an array yet again. So it goes from 27 to 2 and a 7, and then I continue to loop through like so. 4 pro array j, same song and dance, and I'm just using the pro value again, 1, and so now it's 2 times 1 is 2, and then 2 times 7 is 14, and then that gets pushed to the value, and then I'm returning that. I'm struggling here with the return bits, because there's this versus, let's cut this noise. So you return, run that. Ta-da, I get 3 and 27 and 2 and 10 and blah, blah, blah. And like, it's working its way down. I think I need another for loop yet again, but I'm trying to figure out how to just set it up to figure out how many times it needs to loop through in on itself. And then the other option is down here, dot length. The issue with dot length, though, is for the individual ones, like 4, because it's supposed to show how many times did it loop through, and 4 doesn't loop through at all. But since it's dot length, everything gets its length returned. So I'm trying to figure out how I can do that. So that's currently where I stand. Extremely close, but that's what I'm up against. So that's why, looking back at one of my other ones, I was trying to. It was a thing where I was looking at the length of the array, and I was trying to add +1. And I was thinking I need an if-else, very similar to that. So if it's individual, if it's a 1 number, it would return 0 down here at the bottom. And then if it was anything more than a single digit number, it would be that hilarious thing that I was just writing out now. But that's rather tragic looking, to say the least. But for wishful thinking, maybe we can do double parentheses and try that on for size. Run test. Yeah, no, they hate us. They hate us. That's okay. Comment out that noise. Ravendell. BDX saying, could you post the link to it? I'd like to have a go at it. Oh, totally. I'm so slow reading the chat. It's because it's 1:10 a.m. in the morning and everything hurts. But yes, have your way with it. Do your best or your worst, whatever you prefer. Although I'm now running so low on time and energy, I think I may just hunt for a solution myself as well. Write a function persistence that takes an positive parameter, returns its multiplicative. Yeah. Guess that's all we would take. So very, very close. Yeah, good. Oh my god, they used a while loop. I should have used a while loop. Death. Death. Can you believe that? Typical. Big pile of stinky death. That's what it is. Aha! For loops. Function persistence, number callback. Oh, callback. No, we aren't using a callback. I2 string length. Kind of a weird formatting. Oh, they're using a reduce to multiply. Very clever. Reduce would eliminate one of the for loops, at least. That's interesting. Actually, reduce would be a beautiful solution to the multiplication issue. My concern is how does it count every time it counts? Oh. It's adding, it has a count here, a counter for it to return the number of times that happens. And then back to the while loop. I actually believe the closest thing to ours would be using the while loop, variable array, which is num to string to split, keep multiplying the numbers in num. If there is more than one number, array.length greater than 1, variable multiply 1. This is like our pro value. BDXing, the function signature is persistence num, not persistence num callback. Oh yeah, no, I agree. I get that. The persistence num callback was on this dude's. That's why I'm not looking at theirs. This one though is just persistence num. But going through, so the important thing is that we can follow along on their code. Multiply the numbers in num for variable I array length here I++ mult, which is the 1, very similar to our pro value, equaling 1, times equals parse int. We never use parse int. We really should. We really should. Ravendol BDX Inc. Try doing it yourself. Yes, I agree. That's what the last hour and 15 minutes has been of sheer hell and confusion. We only started looking after like the hour plus, and I only look because it probably shouldn't take an hour plus to solve such a basic thing, but we're so questionable with our skill levels. We've hit the reset button many a times over the last 240 days. So, we're a master level noob. But that's why we are looking for ideas on things that we can implement. Reduce was a quick one. I did like the idea of using reduce, but I also like the while loop. Now here, Ravendol, BDX Inc. You don't have to use parse int. JavaScript can do arithmetic functions on strings. Ah, cool. What's your value or your value array for? The algorithm is pretty straightforward. Yeah, I was confused because it's 1:16 in the morning and everything hurts. So, in the meantime, though, specifically for mine, I was trying to create a new placeholder for this bit. We can do an enter, give us a little breathing room. Value array. So when we get our 39, after we split it into simply a 3 and a 9, verify that it's not a single digit number, and we loop through, proval is just 1, but after we get the actual value of that, 1 times 3 is 3, 3 times 9 is 27, we're pushing it to value array. Because in the end, I wanted to continue looping through things and keep having the numbers, the products of each loop dump into value array. And then I wanted to simply return the length of value array. But yeah, that didn't quite happen. Did not quite happen. Although, you know what? Maybe if I move this, cut, and put it inside the else? No, that's not going to work. Z. Because they'll get super pissed at us. Super death. We'll remove that. Bad idea. Bad idea, Steven. We'll put that back down there. Comment that out. BDX straightforward. You can discard the previous values. Interesting. I think since this doesn't include the parse int, this is probably closer to what we're looking for with the while loop. So they've got num, variable sum, loop is 0, variable value 1 is num2 string 10, and split. Value 1, length is greater than 1, sum will equal 1. Value dot for each function number, sum equals sum times number. Value equals sum2 string 10 dot split, loop plus plus, return loop. I'm pretty sure this is in general what we're looking for. Let's and then we can modify ours from there. It's definitely the while loop. that I need. There needs to be more while looping in my life. But right now there is 0 while looping. So just to gauge, the difference, you know what, we'll go ahead and go back and just take all of its glory. Yeah. Copy. Now, for comparison, in the meantime, because we're going to have to totally overhaul, not all of it, but a good chunk of it as we go to implement the while loop. But as we come up to speed for the while loop, persistence, run test, just to make sure we're not crazy. Super death. There is an issue somewhere. Line 38. I see no such issue on line 38. Super death. 28? Maybe that's what's going down. Probably those extra comments. That's what's going on. Okay. So theoretically, that flies. So the difference between mine and theirs, they've got variable sum, loop, variable loop equals 0. They also have variable value 1. Ours is above. So we can kind of mimic this, or set it up like ours, just to get a better understanding of where we currently stand. Monkey see, monkey do, right? Or left, whatever you prefer. Loop equals 1. We don't need the base 10. We don't have to get rid of it, but it's also not essential. For our while loop, value 1, length greater than 1, sum will equal 1. Value 1 for each function number, sum equals sum times number. Wouldn't that just be... I feel like that would be our pro value if we had it as a 1 and then multiply equals number. It totally is, because we tell it sum equals 1. So we could clean that up theoretically. Sum equals 1 times equals 1. Value 1 sum, 2 string, loop through, end loop, run that. Same song and dance, exactly what we thought. Okay. So the last bit that we'd want to do before we convert to our variable names is the following. Although the val1 equals string2 blank, loop increases each time. So this is simply a counter. That's how they're counting it. That's what we were looking for. Super death. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Ravendel. What's going down? The algorithm is pretty straightforward. BDX Inc. You can discard the previous values. Okay. BDX Inc. This was my solution. Got it right on the first attempt. Let's go ahead and check. Going to check the comment. Okay, what don't you understand? I commented it. Yes. Good. And we're loading. There's the handy link. Dunka. Thank you, Ravendel. Alright, so close that noise. Function persistence. All the fun comments. Start the persistence at 0, which will be if num is a single digit. Variable persistence equals 0. While num is not a single digit, while string num dot length is greater than 1, get the individual digits as a string in this case, but that doesn't matter, as I said. Cool, good to know. Variable digits, string num, split. Okay. So now that we've got that, discard the previous number, assign it to 1 so that we can multiply the digits. Num equals 1, multiply num by all the digits. For variable I equals 0, I less than digits dot length, I plus plus, so it'll iterate by 1. Here we have num 1 times equals the current digit. Way cool. Increase persistence by 1 for every time you multiply all the digits, which is what the while loop does. Plus plus persistence, or persistence plus plus, your choice, and then return persistence, which is the counter, the loop, the number of times. Ta-da! That is a beautiful solution. So thank you to Raven. Let's see, Ravendel, just Ravendel. Either way, Raven succeeded in explaining it to us. So now we get it. That's what the while loop is doing, is counting the persistence. In fact, we're going to use Raven's answer because he was so gracious and took the time to do all that. Copy. We can even drop it in here. Ta-da! B-d-d-d-d-d-d. Let's do asterisk. Comment that out. You get a comment, and you get a comment. Yes, good. Look at this. And run it. Very cool. Ravendel. You're so good. And the comments, they're so handy. They remove all the confusion that we were up against. We were getting lost in this for loop hell. It should have been a while loop, but I was trying to piece it together with for loops, and it was sad, and it made my mind hurt. And after an hour of being lost, I gave up hope until Raven came along and saved the day. After he so kindly explained how the while loop solves all of our problems, which is exactly what we needed. Big hat tip to Raven. Let's go ahead and submit this because we have 0 strength to continue fighting on. Okay. Alright. BDX Inc., I'd love to see you close all the solution windows, remove all the code in an editor, and try it yourself from scratch. Well, our goal now, before we make the final attempt, I just wanted to double check, because they do all the extra random tests between sample tests and the final attempt button, but is to piece together my code, because it's just so questionable. We'll need to get rid of all the commenty stuff. Alright. But yeah, no, from Scratch, well, it's kind of like Scratch. Sort of. Not quite. Guidance. It hurts. It's 1:15. No, what time is it? Oh god, 1:30 a.m. The agony. We had like 20 minutes to stream after midnight. We've been dragging on. So we're gonna change this to the following. We don't need that extra if statement. We don't even need, all we need is splitting the string, which was number array. We should get rid of those comments too, that way we can see what we're changing. That was value 1. If we need to stream earlier in the day. We've just had 0 time during the day, and we keep having to do these midnight streams when we're exhausted and can't think straight. It's just awful. Value 1. You're going to be changing that. Although technically you were right. We didn't even need to change it to the string. We could just go through the digits as is. Oh. Maybe it will be better to go from scratch. We'll do it. We'll do it. All of this can die, not die. I don't even know what to do right now. I want to keep going, but I'm just so tired. Death. Forge ahead. Forge ahead. This is what it's for. Forge ahead. Sleep is for the weak. Super death. We're going to get rid of this and that. We'll keep Raven's helpful comments. We'll get rid of the extra one. And we will continue from here, piecing the nightmare together. So although maybe we should have that below the screen. Maybe a couple more. Alright, there's that. We can close out of all this noise. Okay. From the top. Hopefully, it's not too painful. We are going to be doing... We will have... What did we have? We needed the thing with the stuff. We wanted variable something or other. Variable... Damn. That's the hardest thing. I'm not good with the variables, because I feel like I know it could just be X, but my mind can't wrap around just the nothingness, especially when I'm delirious. It needs to be something like loop or whatever to count the stuff. I think you had persistence, but that's not a fun variable for Steven. Let's do... The first thing we did was number array, because we were splitting it or turning it into a string. And I think that's still happening to some degree. We want to do... What do we want to do? Let's see. Don't mind me. Number array equals death. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. While something happens, there is the code. We will have loop as something. Return loop in the end, and loop variable loop, which is essentially persistence, will equal 0. Product variable product will equal 1. This will be num dot to string dot split. Quote with a semicolon, 1, 2, and 3. While something is greater than 1, num array dot length, I believe it is. Oh, that was command N, not shift N. Command copy dot length, was it? Pretty sure it was that. Something's gonna happen. At the end of it, it will be loop plus plus. What do we do from here? Yeah, death, loop plus plus. Do something. This is the math portion we're gonna need. What would I do? What would I do? We will... it's, this is product something. There's our for loop. Do I set up a for loop inside of it? Do I do a for loop inside of a while loop? Yeah. For, I think, variable I equals 0. I less than num array dot length. Right? No, wrong. I can't really tell. We'll fix it later. The stuff. Product. Num array I. Followed by something or other. Is there more to it? Is there less to it? I think I'm missing a step somewhere, and I think I set something up incorrectly, but we're gonna stick with this for now. Run the sample test. Holy inch, are you serious? There's no way I got that right. Ravendel, you are spectacular. Did this actually work? Oh, no, it's because I have your code below. I have your code below. I didn't comment your code out. I need to scroll down to comment your code out. Maybe I can just do this. And that's gray. So everything below should be grayed out, I hope. Damn, they want it to be closed. At least I don't have all the cool font stuff highlighted. So we're going to do a quick... we'll do this. We'll do this. And copy and blank. And Command V. And get ready, get ready. We're gonna scroll to the bottom, drop it in, and scroll up. It's quick as humanly possible. Boom. Bam. Up top. It was just a wall of gray. Who knows what happened? Run it. We gotta be missing something. I just don't know what we're missing. Clearly they're pissed. Nice, nice. Alright. So at least we're getting close. Let's take a look at what we're missing, shall we? Alright, and the wall of gray is very effective too. So let's free the wall of gray. Persistence is our loop. While num, the string version of num length is greater than 1. Oh, while num length is greater than 1. Variable digits. So that's like num array, basically. Num array. That's like product. So 1, and there is a for loop. Times equals that. and persistence. So what am I missing? I've got my while loop. I've got my for, product times u, return loop. Maybe it was num length. Was that my issue? That had to be my issue. Num length, everything 0, return loop. I don't get it. What could I be missing? Persistence is 0, and loop is 0. Well, num is not, while the length of num is greater than 1, the length of num is greater than 1. Gets individual digits as the strings in this case. So digits, num dot split, so that's this dot split. Discard the previous number and assign it to 1. So that was the original num. This is the new num. So maybe that's our issue for the 1 there, is the scope of number. So setting up number array inside. Cut. Although as far as functionality goes, I don't get why the global version wouldn't function similar to the... You know what, I don't know if it was the string version or if it was this. Cut. However, both were inside the while loop before. In Raven's example. The split and the num, and then there's the for loop. Digits. Where does digits come from in all of this? Then multiply num by all the digits. Oh, that's the split, so that's number array length. So num array length, num array I, digits length, digits I, and then plus plus. Now he does have plus plus in the front, but I think as far as functionality goes, it should be very similar. Wonder why it gives a 0. We can try putting loop, or plus plus loop. That's so weird. I don't know what's functionally different between mine and his. persistence, let's call it loop. Let's just do num.length, num array, toString number equals 1. Why don't we call it product? Product times num array and loop, right? I mean, what is functionally different between these and ours? Huh. So it has to do with like the phrasing. I think it's because I'm turning things into variables. This must be how it's literally being processed. Like as JavaScript. That's really interesting. So I wonder if I even need the toString. Run that. And I wonder if I even need... I wonder if it's the variable for product that's throwing things off. Which is strange, because it's no longer highlighted anymore. That's just really odd. So... this is more of like... I'm trying to quantify or understand the issue or the discrepancy with my code. And is it like a compiler issue? Or the tests they have? Or the version of JavaScript for the tests that they have? Or does it have to do with the fact like some things are set as variables? And again, his code works perfectly when it's not modified with my changes like variable and stuff. Because all I did was just change the names of the variables. I did change a few things like num length instead of the string version of and all of that. See, like if we get his code again, copy, it is nearly identical, minus those minor changes, but those minor changes are what's causing the issue. See, that works. So maybe it's the string num needs to be utilized. Let's do string num. And we'll also do string num and comment out the following. I want to figure out what the source is that's causing it. I realize I may not, but I'd certainly like to give it a try. It's thinking. Process was terminated. Try again. They don't like it. That's so strange. Well, then we're just going to stick with what Raven provided. I mean, because at that point, all we would, he gave us his handy guide and explained what's happening. We even moved, I was trying to use my variables, names, things like loop instead of persistence. Variable persistence and stuff like that. So I just tried to set it up off memory after he showed us the guide. Then after that failed, then I tried taking his guide and modifying it with my variable names. That didn't quite work. Something changed. So then I tried shuffling the format so it matched his, because before we had variable number array and product above the while loop. But we moved all that stuff to match his. And then when that still didn't work for all this, tweaking things back a little, like string num versus num.toString, changing those back, there's not a whole lot else to change from this point. If we were to change any more, it would be simply changing it back to his code, what we have here. So we're just going to stick with what we have, or what he provided. That's so interesting. Let's go through his comments once more. Maybe there was something we missed in the comments. So start the persistence at 0, which it will be if num is a single digit. We have loop as 0 in ours. While num is not a single digit, while string num length is greater than 1. If it's 1 or less, won't happen. But if it's greater than 1, so 2 digits or more, it gets to ride the roller coaster. Digits, num, string split, is it... Did I forget the quotes? Was it something basic like that? String split, quotes, no. Quotes. Bastards. We'll continue on. Get the individual digits as strings in this case, but that doesn't matter as he mentioned. Okay. So digits, this is like our number array. String num dot split. Discard the previous number. Assign it to 1 so that we can multiply the digits. So we're getting rid of essentially the number parameter and assigning it to 1. That's the only main thing. That's the last thing that I can think of, is getting rid of num in general. Because all of this is num, 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 num. So maybe we use number to kick off the loop. and then we're resetting it to 1. That way we can continue the multiplication loop. I guess that's the difference. So if that's the case, instead of product, it should be num, and just get rid of this. Number equals that. That's fully commented out. That's open, and that's fully commented out. So try that. That's what it was. Oh, Ravendell, you're great. Your comments save the day. Okay, discard, because that's what's going down. Multiply all the numbers by all the digits, blah, 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 blah. It loops through digits.length, which is the split version, which we can probably change it back to what we had before. Num dot to string. At least we're intimately familiar with what the f is going on now. Num length to string. Give that a shot. Death. Death, death, death. Num dot to string length. Aha, there we go. Okay, so what do we have here? Num dot. So there's a couple things too. String dot length for something or other. This could just be num. And this can just be num. But we do want num inside the while loop. Let's get rid of that and this. That's commented out at the bottom. This is commented out at the top. Get rid of this guy. It's got its variable. It's got the while loop. It has a for loop inside. The plus plus and the return. Let's go ahead and run that. Double periods, line 4. Holy sh! We finally did it. It only took 2 hours and 4 minutes. Big hat tip to Raven, though. Oh, he saved the day. And now we have a much better understanding than I wanted of this particular CODA 2 hours ago. Holy hell. Let's go ahead and attempt this. All of that good stuff. Let's go ahead and delete all of that noise. One more running attempt. Raven, you did it. You saved the day. You saved the town. The city is no longer on fire. That was brutal. But we stuck with it. A persistent bugger indeed. What a aptly named CODA. It's a fucking nightmare. Okay, so top answers. What did the cool kids have to say? Persistent num. variable times equals 0, num equals num to string. Well, num length is greater than 1 times plus plus, that increases num equals num split dot map number reduce AB, the gigantic arrow to string return times. Yeah. I like our version. Raven's was clear and straightforward. You understand what's happening. It makes sense. Okay, functiony stuff. Yeah, this is all noise. This is all noise. None of these are improving anyone's day. Aha, this. Digits, num split, total, sum is 0, digits dot length, evaluate, digits to join. Kind of weird formatting, but very similar contextually to ours. Yay, look at that. Function. Wow, they did 2 functions. That's impressive. Alright, good times. Ours worked, and more importantly, we understand our solution, which is a critical thing, and that's it. And that's the more important part that I really want to thank Raven for yet again. Not just showing us a good guide on what to do, but part of that guide was the understanding. So, yet again, thank you, Raven, for guiding us to today's success. It is deeply appreciated. Let's go ahead and check out our profile, and then we can finally power this stream down. Things are loading. We can close out of this. We will get there. Okay. 61% of the way through. Level 6 here at CODEWARS. 39,251 is our current position as we struggle to climb up the ladder. In the meantime, we are backing out of CODEWARS. Thank you again to anyone and everyone who stopped by to view the stream. Ravendel, once more, thank you again. You're a rock star. If it weren't for you, we would still be struggling. Day 240 comes to an end. The adventure continues tomorrow with day 241 of the Year of Streaming and Learning to Code. In the meantime, we are stopping the stream. Are you sure you want to stop the stream? Hell yeah. Kill it.